Well, good morning, everybody. Grateful to be here at Durham Tech, and I thank Dr. Ingram and the good work that he is doing here today. I also before I get started, want to thank my State Budget Director, Charlie Perouse, for your great work, Deputy Director Nels Rosalind, and Deputy Director Kristen Walker. I know that staff has worked around the clock over the last few months to put this together, and I'm excited about it. I also thank my Deputy Chief of Staff, Julia White, and my Policy Director, Jenny Owen, for their contributions to this. And thank you for your patience. When you're doing this kind of budget, there's a lot to go over. So I'm going to hit some of the top line things and then take some questions from you. And then I'll have Charlie Perouse and his team to come before you on some of the more technical aspects and to also answer additional questions that you might have. Durham Tech being here is part of what I believe is an exceptional community college system in North Carolina. And institutions like this one represent our commitment to prepare North Carolinians who are entering into a changing workforce. I think North Carolina for decades has been an example of that kind of achievement. We have a growing economy that I think can be dynamic here because we have world-class system of public colleges and universities like Durham Tech. They have a culture of innovation and creativity. All our communities across North Carolina, they're urban and rural, they're big and small, and they are diverse by all measures. And as our economy recovers, we need to invest now with an eye toward the future. By bringing common ground solutions front and center, North Carolina's economy can grow strong. Today, I present a budget that I think gets us there. I'm proposing a fiscally responsible budget with investments in our future without raising taxes, without raising fees, without cutting services, and without dipping into special funds. The goals of a common ground solution is to help North Carolina become better educated, healthier, and to put more money in the pockets of everyday North Carolinians. These goals really don't come with party labels. They're universal, they're bipartisan, and I am ready to work with legislative leaders and members of the legislature to accomplish them. Let's start with our plans for education. Today, I am setting an ambitious goal to make North Carolina a top 10 educated state by the year 2025. Investing in our kids is investing in our future. And reaching the top 10 in 3 categories is critical to our economic competitiveness and the well-being of our citizens. For example, right now, 22% of our 4-year-olds are enrolled in pre-K. Let's get that number to at least 55%. Second, our high school graduation rate is 85% and getting better, but I believe we can get it up to 91%. And third, let's increase the percentage of adults who have higher education degrees. Right now, it's about 38%. We need to increase that figure to at least 55%. And my budget includes a number of strategies to get us into the top 10 educated states. First, a teacher pay raise. As parents, we trust our teachers with our kids many hours every day. It's time to put our money where our trust is. That's why I'm proposing an average 5% raise for teachers in the first year, an additional 5% raise in the second year for a total average of 10% for all North Carolina public school teachers. This teacher pay plan is the biggest in a decade and would bring North Carolina to best in the Southeast in 3 years and to at least the national average in 5 years. And we know teachers are dipping into their own pockets to buy school supplies and begging parents to help them cover those costs. To relieve some of that burden and to show teachers our tangible appreciation of their good work, I'm proposing a $150 stipend for all public school teachers to use for school supplies in their classrooms. We also need to make sure that students are ready to learn from day one. But not all kids are ready for kindergarten when they get there. When they show up for kindergarten already behind, it's hard to catch up. And a lot of kids never do. Schools and government agencies and business and nonprofit organizations are trying to connect these students and their families with the right support to help them close that gap. But let's work to make sure there's not a gap to begin with. Right now, thousands of 4-year-olds are on waiting lists to get into pre-K. My budget provides for 4,700 new pre-K slots over the next 2 years, getting rid of the waiting list completely. My budget also includes a child care tax credit to help working families afford quality child care. This is a tax break that the middle class needs. While supporting students, we also need to make sure that they have good teachers. Attracting and retaining the best possible teachers for our state's public schools improves student outcomes and improves performance, which is what we want. That's why I'm proposing the NC Best and Brightest Scholarship Program. It's a new program, one I look forward to working with the General Assembly on, modeled after what we used to have in North Carolina. The best and brightest scholars will receive $10,000 in tuition and fees in exchange for a commitment to teach in one of our state's public schools after graduation. I hope that we can work together to get this done because it is an important way to attract and keep the very best teachers. In our economy, most students need more than a high school education to be prepared for the workforce. During the economic recovery, 95% of new jobs require some kind of post-secondary education. My budget will establish the NC Grow Scholarship, which stands for Getting Ready for Opportunities in the Workforce. The program will cover tuition and fees to any North Carolina community college for recent high school graduates who agree to get good grades and who have exhausted all of their other sources of financial aid. NC Grow can help North Carolinians come to excellent, affordable colleges like Durham Tech to get the skills and the training they need to compete in the 21st century. And it also helps to create and resupply that well-trained workforce that CEOs constantly tell me they need in order to make decisions to come here and to expand here if they're already here. My budget also aims to make North Carolinians healthier and safer. Now, last year after Hurricane Matthew brought havoc to the eastern part of our state, there are many communities who are still recovering, and it will take them a long time. We are working with our congressional delegation and the legislature to get more help to rebuild, but there's a lot more to do. My budget includes investments that allow us to be flexible to continue assessing the unmet needs. This can help make sure that affected families get back into permanent housing, children will be able to get back to school and focus on that, and repairs can be made to damaged roads and bridges. Ensuring a healthier North Carolina also means fighting opioid abuse that is claiming too many lives, both young and old. People suffering from prescription drug addiction are going through a revolving door of emergency care and sometimes incarceration, and it isn't working. My budget will redirect funds for treatment to help people who are gripped by addiction and help them truly recover, because it is a tough road when you are trying to get off opioids. All of these investments in education and health and safety and environment contribute to a robust economy that's better for working people. Which brings me to the third issue, putting more money in the pockets of everyday North Carolinians. Many of our rural areas and smaller towns still have yet to recover the jobs that they lost during the Great Recession. My budget invests $20 million in manufacturing site development and another $30 million for NC-ready sites to attract new economic development projects. It also puts $20 million in to improve broadband access, which we know is critical to economic growth in our rural areas and small towns. Without these infrastructure investments, we reduce our chances of attracting projects. But if we do build it, they will come. In North Carolina, though, we can't just build roads and buildings. We have to build technologies. I'm proposing a new initiative called NC Invents to help our state's universities pitch new technologies to investors and get them out onto the market faster. We have a growing and thriving innovation and entrepreneurship economy in North Carolina that we have to push. My budget includes a film tax incentive program to help bring more films into our state, a prospect that pumps millions of dollars into our local economy and works. It's also time to invest in our human capital, to invest in people, those who have devoted themselves to public service, who've chosen to do that. This budget provides a raise for all state employees who aren't on the teacher salary schedule of 2% or $800, whichever is greater, as well as a one-time $500 bonus. We're also investing money to raise the salary of the lowest paid employees to market levels. This would be the largest state employee pay increase in nearly a decade. As I travel across North Carolina, I spend time listening to people from all walks of life. I learn about their experiences, I hear their concerns, I listen to their hopes for themselves and for their children. Every single one of them has his or own idea of what an abundant and purposeful life looks like. As governor, I want to help make opportunities for North Carolinians to achieve those dreams. That's what this budget's about. That's what we've been working on the last couple of months. It lives within our means without raising taxes or fees and cutting services or borrowing from special funds. And it adds $300 million to the rainy day fund. It's about coming together to find common ground, to help all North Carolinians become better educated, healthier, and putting more money in their pockets. I know there are ideas in this budget on which Republicans and Democrats can agree, and I am ready to work with the legislature so that North Carolina can move forward and that we can get results. thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.